Hi, this is Raine from Raine Travels and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to continue with my how to apply series of videos for the Schengen Visa. And we are going to focus on Belgium. So are you ready? Let's start. Now this particular video is for those who would like to apply for a Schengen Visa to Belgium for either tourism or for private visits. So private visits would include visiting family and friends. So let's go to step 1. Okay, so step 1 is know your visa type. So whether it's for tourism, a private visit, business, or for cultural visits, you should know what your visa type is. So you have to go to the embassy website or the visa application center's website to get to know the exact visa type. Step 2. Gather the documents that you will need. So each of the visa types will require will have general requirements as well as specific requirements depending on the type or purpose. So please make sure to check on that one. Now, let's go over to gathering the documents that you would need. As I've informed you, there are two main types. So there would be the general documentary requirements and of course the supporting documents or the documents specific for your travel purpose. Now for the sake of this video, I'm only going to discuss those for tourism and for family or friend / private visits. Okay, so are you ready? Let's go on to the general documentary requirements. First one, the application form. So the application form can either be completed in English or German. It must be printed and signed. Now for minor applicants, it must be signed by their parents or their legal guardian. So if you are from Manila, you can scan the QR code here and it will direct you to the application. Next requirement would be the passport. The passport should be valid for at least 2 months beyond the requested exit from the Schengen area, and it should have at least 2 blank pages. So for example, you would want to travel from September to October. Your passport validity should be valid from 2 months. However, for Filipinos, you will not be allowed to travel if your passport is not valid for at least 6 months. So please do take note of that one. Number 3, a copy of your passport. So you should have a copy of the data page. That would include the bio page plus the signature page, as well as the back page where your emergency details are, and all the pages of your passport that has visas and entry and exit stamp. Next one, passport photo. So in some cases, the visa application center will already take your photo, so there's no need for a different photo. But if there is a need to, then make sure that the photo follows the ICAO guidelines and it should be glued onto the application form. Number 5, your non-refundable visa fee. So currently, for adults, it's 80 euros. Minors from 6 to 12 years old, it's 40 euros. It's free for minors below 6 and also free for spouses or minor children of EU nationals. So please do take note of the non-refundable visa fee. Number 6, for the general documentary requirements, we also have the proof of ties. So the proof of ties would be the different documents that would ensure or that would tell the embassy that you have something or someone to return to in your home country. So these could be any of the following. Proof of social security contributions in the Philippines, that would be the 3 government offices that we contribute to. SSS, Pag-ibig, and PhilHealth. For other nationalities, you may have your own social security contributions that you contribute to, so please do include those. Second one would be your real estate properties, if relevant. So if you have real estate properties, take note that they should be in your own name, not in any other person's name. If it's a joint, or if you're a co-owner, you may include that as well. The third one would be proof of family ties. If you are married and you have children, include a copy of your marriage certificate and the birth certificate of your children. So those are some of the documents that you can include as proof of ties to your home country. Now, take note that the Belgian embassy assesses your migration risk, or takes note whether you are guaranteed to return to your home country. So, as much as possible, the applicant is requested to provide any document or to provide information about, number one, their family background. So, as I've mentioned earlier, that would be, if you are married, that would be your marriage certificate. And if you have children, that would be the birth certificate of your children. Next, the second one is your professional and socioeconomical status. So, this would include proof of your regular income and it's stable, that the income source is stable, or any stable source of revenue, which could include, of course, employment, real estate properties, especially if you are, let's say, renting them out. If you are a business owner, then make sure that you are able to provide a stable source of revenue. So that's some of the documents that would tell the embassy that there is a lesser risk of illegal migration from you. So as I've already also informed you, your ownership of land or real estate property can also be part or included as a guarantee for your return. Next, for the supporting requirements. So these are the supporting requirements intended for your travel. The first one would be your proof of travel. So a copy of the travel itinerary or the flight reservation. Now do take note that you do not, you have to emphasize this one, you do not have to buy a plane ticket, okay, until your visa is granted. So if the application is approved, then you can buy a round trip airline ticket already. What you need is a reservation. Okay, so I have a video on how to do a simple reservation through Emirates, KLM, or Air France. So please do check that out. Next, proof of travel medical insurance. So the travel medical insurance must take note that it should have the following coverage rather. So minimum of 30,000 euros, covers all Schengen countries, and it covers the duration of the whole trip. Now, during the pandemic, they have also included that COVID-19 should have been covered. Okay, so take note that in the Philippines, there are companies that are accredited or that are recommended to provide you with an insurance. So if you find them quite expensive, then check out my video on the travel insurance that I have personally used. Next one, proof of financial means of the applicant. Of course, when you're traveling, whether for tourism or for private visits, you should have your own financial statements, okay? So this would include bank certification, bank statements, bank books. Make sure that it's showing regular income within the last 6 months. You may also include your credit card statements. And again, it should cover the last 6 months. Now, if you are traveling with a minor, let's say your children, then the parents' proof of economic means or financial means should be included with their application. Furthermore, for Those who are employed, you should be able to submit your proof of occupation, which would include, number 1, certificate of employment, 2, an approved leave of absence for the duration of your stay in the Schengen area, and 3, your latest income tax return. Now, for those who are self-employed, let's say business owners or those who are freelancers, so proof of company or business registration if your business is registered, your business financial statements, and your latest income tax return. Now, if you are a freelancer who is not registered with, let's say, your tax authority, please do register. It will make your lives and your visa application easier. Now, if you are not registered, make sure that you compile all of your income statements, whether it's from, let's say, Upwork or from PayPal or whichever website you are getting your income from. Okay, so please compile them. Next, for pupils and students, proof of enrollment, and of course, if they will be traveling within the school year, a certificate of leave of absence from their school register. If you will be traveling, of course, with your children or with your spouse, then the birth certificate of your children and your marriage certificate. For minors in the Philippines, they would need an affidavit of support and consent of the parents or the legal guardian, a copy of the passport of the parents or the legal guardian, the birth certificate of the minor, and then if the minor is traveling alone, a DSWD clearance. So please do take note of that if the minor will be traveling alone. Next, for the documents which are needed for the specific travel purpose. Okay, so this one is for tourism, specific for tourism. First is your proof of accommodation. So this is the confirmation of your hotel booking or hotel reservation. It can also be a hotel voucher, or if someone will accommodate you, then a letter of promise from the host. Next, a detailed day-to-day itinerary. So make sure that there is much detail as you can include with your itinerary. So this is a sample itinerary that goes for 3 days through Brussels. So this is just a sample. If you need help with making your itinerary, then you can send me a message or visit my Ko-fi page. I have a template for the itinerary there, or I can make the itinerary for you. Now, if your travel purpose is for friend or family visit or a private invitation, first, you must provide a proof of relationship to the person you are visiting or who is inviting you. So just if he or she is a family member, then include a birth certificate or marriage certificate plus the photocopy of the sponsor's passport and or residence card. So whichever is applicable. If the person you are visiting is a Belgian national, then the passport would do. If the person you are visiting is a resident, then please do include a copy of the residence certificate or residence permit plus the passport. So here's a video that you can watch for the proof of relationship. So you can check that out. It's in my YouTube channel. Next, proof of sponsorship. So if you know that you do not have enough financial means, then request your host to supply an original affidavit of support legalized by the Belgian municipality where the sponsor is registered. So for the step-by-step process, you can check out this particular video for the formal obligation or the proof of sponsorship. For the proof of sponsorship as well, you would need a copy of the Belgian ID card/passport or residence ID card, as well as the family composition of the sponsor, and proof of the recent 3 months income of the sponsor. It could also be the last income tax assessment from the finance department in Belgium. So those are for the proof of sponsorship. Again, you can watch the video. So here are some of the suggested additional documents that aren't elucidated in the requirements. So first and foremost is your travel history. So the requirement states that all pages in the passport that has that has stamps or visa. But what if it's found in your previous passport? Then do include your previous passport's visas and entry and exit stamps, as well as the bio page of that previous passport. So why include a travel history? So number one, it shows that you are less likely to overstay. And number two, it shows that you have not been overstaying or that you have been returning home every time you travel abroad. Next one. Another one is a cover letter. So this is not mandatory for the Belgian Schengen visa. However, I think a cover letter is needed so that you can explain the purpose of your travel. So is it for tourism? So why Belgium? Why are you traveling to Belgium? If it's for a private visit, why are you visiting that person? And for how long are you visiting that person? So this cover letter gives the visa officer a more concrete view of your application. So those are just some of the suggested additional documents. So there. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to write a comment in the comment section. Now, step 3, book your appointment. So please make sure to directly book appointment with the Visa Application Center and make sure that your details, specifically your passport and your passport number and your birthday, are correct. And book well in advance. There are instances, especially during the summer period, wherein the processing of the visa takes longer than the usual 15 days. Okay, so you can apply or you can book the appointment from 6 months to 15 days from your travel. You can scan this QR code if you are from the Philippines and it will direct you to VFS Global. Next, step 4, submit your application. So during your appointment date, make sure to arrive at least 15 minutes before your time. Make sure that you have your appointment confirmation with you. I remember someone told me that she forgot the appointment confirmation. So please make sure that you have it printed with you. And have your biometric information taken. So that would be your photo plus your fingerprints. Now, step 5. Okay, so this is the waiting game. Track your application. So the typical period for the visa application is from 15 calendar days, and it can be longer if your application is sent to the migration office in Belgium. So if you want to track your application, use the reference number present on the invoice or the receipt of the issued by the Visa Application Center along with your last name. So if you're in the Philippines, you can scan the QR code to track your application. So hopefully the video was quite helpful to you. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send a message through any of my social media channels or on the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next videos. Bye!